Well, a very good morning to you, Desiree, and to the viewers. And well, we are expecting to continue the first witness testimony, Mbuso Ngcobo, as he gives evidence in this corruption trial of Zandile Gumede, the former mayor of eThekwini, and 21 others. Those 21 others include councillors as well as businesses in the eThekwini region. Now, yesterday, the witness was supposed to furnish the defense with a report, a preliminary report that was done by the CIIU. Now, the CIIU is a city's integrity investigation unit, and we heard the witness in previous court appearance telling this court that an anonymous individual dropped off a bundle of documents at the CIIU's office, and within a 24-hour period, that is when he issued and authorized an investigation into the corruption and tender fraud, well, the alleged corruption and tender fraud involving former Mayor Zandile Gumede and 21 others. Well, yesterday that did not happen. The report that was given into this court was actually documents, and documents that also were not all, well, they were rather incomplete. We saw the minutes of that particular document missing. We saw defense lawyer Jayed question why the minutes were not there, and he spent some time during the course of the morning, cross-examining the first witness, Mbuso Ngcobo, asking why there were sections of the documents missing. But the initial preliminary report that was conducted by the CIIU has not been furnished to the defense. They have given the witness some time since last week, with the court adjourned to allow the witness to provide and furnish this court with the documents. But until today, he has not yet done so. Why this is important, Desiree, is that preliminary report would have been done before an external forensic auditing company, which is IFS, would have been brought in to complete that particular investigation. And then once they have completed their investigation, they would have handed that final report to the Hawks and then seen the subsequent arrest of Zandile Gumede and 21 others. To unpack all of this, I am joined by our legal expert, Ngcobo, just to talk about these findings. Mr. Ngcobo, obviously, stop-start affair yesterday. The report not handed in, one has to question if it even exists.
Yes. Remember yesterday you did ask why was the report not given before the trial started, which was last year, August 2022. So we were expecting, as they said, the report would be given yesterday. It wasn't given, which means it never existed, because logic dictates, as we discussed yesterday, during PSR stage, every document that is relevant is handed over to the defense. And that did not happen because it doesn't exist. So now we move on to other evidence that will be given, knowing that that report that they're talking about doesn't exist. But it does, in a way, raise a concern about the testimony of the first witness.
I actually wanted to pick up from that. The fact that he has told this court under oath that there is a report, a preliminary report, before he handed over the findings to the external auditing forensic company, surely that's also going to play in the defense's, corner.
Yes. The purpose of cross-examination for the defense in this instance is that they must show that whatever testimony he gave, there's doubt in the testimony. So now that he's changing his testimony within his testimony, and now he's saying that there was a report, now there was no report, it kind of casts doubts on his testimony, which is a good thing for the defense. Secondly, it's laying a groundwork for IFS. Whoever is going to testify for IFS is going to have to face questions which would come out of what is happening with the testimony of Mbuso Ngcobo, the first state witness.
I want to bring IFS into this as well. So IFS would have received the findings of CIIU once they completed their internal investigation within eThekwini Metro. They would then, Mr. Ngcobo would then have handed over his findings from his investigative team to IFS, who would have then investigated further and handed their complete report to the Hawks, and then obviously the rest would occur, the arrests and so forth. Now, IFS, the fact that that they were chosen, there were 17 providers. We also heard yesterday, Des, there were 17 service providers. IFS was handpicked. There were also questions about the procedure of that tender awarded to IFS to come in as an external factor into this investigation.
Yeah. Yes, there are questions now about how they got the tender. So it's a very strange thing that we are having a case about how tender processes were not done properly, but the same witnesses who are alleging that they were not following the same process that they are talking about. So I think it does fall in the favor of the defense that the story of the state is not, holding water, so to speak. So like I said just now, the IFS has to get its story in order, because questions are coming out, and by the time they come in, the defense is ready to throw questions or cross-examine their credibility as well.
Thank you, and I suppose we'll watch this all unfold. Thank you very much for joining us. Well, Des, it's going to be a jam-packed day as we wait for the first witness to take the stand again and continue with his testimony at the Durban High Court. We are also waiting IFS state witnesses to take the stand and also detail their involvement in this corruption trial of former Mayor of eThekwini, Zandile Gumede, and 21 others. It's back to you in the studio.